Have you ever noticed that delicacies are things we probably shouldn't even be eating in the first place? And just because something has a French name, that doesn't mean it's fancy. And we've got an idea for a gourmet seasoning that will make us millionaires. And then we take a rather giggly tangent into the world of adhesive underwear. Bon appetit!
Welcome to Pitney and Amelia's Bitchin' Boutique!
We may be awful, but
we're right! So, I don't know how many people who listen to us now have listened to, the really early stuff. I don't know. I mean, part of me is like, oh my god, you should listen to everything. And part of me is like, oh my god, don't listen to it because we totally didn't know what we were doing.
I know the early stuff, I have love-hate with it.
Oh my god.
Because some of it is so outrageous.
Oh my god.
And so, yeah.
The first episode, all I can think, even though there's parts of it that are so fucking funny, but all I can think when I listen to it is, Amelia, why are you yelling?
Yeah.
I yelled every word. Now, we did record it in the car. And I was driving. So maybe that kind of amped it up.
Right. Yes, we did. Oh, my goodness.
Because we were recording on our way to and on our way from Texas Fright.
That's right. Oh, my goodness. I forgot all about Yes.
And just so, but anyway, but the reason why I bring that up is because there was something that we talked about that came up for a bit in that. I can't even remember specifically what it was. But a phrase that came out of that, which actually became one of our quote magnets, actually the first quote magnet that we did, was "fuck your palate."
Oh, yes.
And really, "fuck your palate" is such a standard thing. I mean, I say it all the time, whenever I'm watching a cooking show or whatever.
That had to have been because we are on our way to a con.
Yeah.
It had to be in the context of us talking about spray cheese and Oreos.
Possibly. Man, is it windy there again? Because I'm hearing your wind chimes.
Oh, yes, they are, yes.
Okay.
And my window is, my double-paned window is shut. So that's how loud those fucking things are.
Oh, my God. That's insane. Anyway, I was very shocked by how loud that was.
Let me say it really, really fast, because this is kind of funny and it's kind of fun. There was a lady in the store that I work in, and she wanted to know where the spray cheese was. And she was kind of fabulous, and she was buying the spray cheese. And she was saying it was something to the effect of, oh, I'm just getting it, I'm buying this because it's like, my daughter is having friends over and whatever. And I was like, oh, I think spray cheese is so wonderful. I love it so much. And I told her, and I was like, if you want to change your life, you eat some spray cheese on Oreos.
Oh my God, I hope she did.
And she was like, really? And she was laughing, and we had like a 10-minute conversation about that. And she was like, what is your name? I am so glad to have met you. You are just so delightful. She's like, I'm going to try that, and I'm going to come in and find you and tell you all about it.
I'm so excited.
I don't know if she did.
This
was a long time ago. I don't know if she ever did. Oh my God. But anyway, it was awesome.
Well, it wasn't too long ago that there was somebody, I guess it was a TikTok video or something, a guy that tastes weird things, and his followers or whatever will write in and suggest things for him to eat, and then he eats them on camera, and someone told him to put spray cheese on an Oreo, and he did, and he was like, oh my God. He was totally shocked at how good it is.
Did I ever tell you about how good, I'm sure I must have, the hamburger dill pickle slices with peanut butter on them?
I'm a huge fan of peanut butter and pickle
Yeah,
combination.
that's good. Because I remember this guy that I used to work with a long time ago at the assisted living in Austin. We had a lot of fun together. And,
Yeah.
and I would do this thing where I'd just close your eyes and shut up and eat this. And
Just open your mouth. I'm putting something in your mouth.
I would do the craziest fucking
Oh my
nasty
God.
shit, but he loved the pickles and peanut butter.
That actually just made me think of something. I saw a commercial for Skippy peanut butter in a squeeze bag. Have you seen it?
No.
It's like a big bag with a nozzle. Like you pop it open and you squeeze it. I mean, like you could like perfectly squeeze it onto a stick of celery. You can perfectly squeeze it. You could put it all over your sandwich without having to use a knife. Just put like in concentric circles. Oh my God.
And I'm just thinking of what a cute dog treat option that would be.
They actually do make special dog peanut butter that's in like almost like a spray cheese. Actually, that Kong brand.
Yeah.
So off topic. I bought a peanut butter one, and I bought a pepperoni for Spike for like these little lick mats that like are because he's very licky like when he gets anxious, and so I bought these weird textured rubber mats, and you smear peanut butter or whatever on it, and then the dog has to lick for a really long time to get in between all the little nubs.
So it's soothing.
Yeah, and we bought we bought the peanut butter kind and the pepperoni kind, and I mean, good Lord.
I want to eat spray pepperoni.
I know. Why don't they make that for people? Like, spray pepperoni mixed with cheese. Oh my God. Like, remember the jar of peanut butter that had the jelly in the jar?
Oh,
like
I
Stripes?
do remember. And it was Goober brand. It was Goober.
Yes. But imagine that, like a tube of the stripey toothpaste. Only it's cheese and pepperoni and stripes that come out of a spray cheese.
Oh my God, yes.
Somebody invent that. Oh, it probably exists.
And there's people that are horrified right now listening to that. I would never eat that but you know what? They're lying because they would eat it and they'd love it.
And you know what? I bet it would be really good on an Oreo too, because because the sharp cheddar is the best for the Oreo. But I mean, imagine if you had the additional, like the zippiness and the additional saltiness of some pepperoni in there.
Oh,
it'd be so fucking good. Ooh, like a slice of pepperoni. Oh, we should try that sometime.
Yes, absolutely. Anyway, yes.
I digress. Anyway, so the thing that I was thinking about.
It's my fault. Anyway.
It's okay. It really is all the same kind of thing. But here's, I was talking to a friend, and we just kind of got into this discussion, and it's been in the back of my head for a while, and I've been wanting to bring it up with you because I know that you would totally agree with me on this. Like the idea of complicated food versus simple food. Like, the more complicated a food is, the less likely it's really that good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, if it's a vegetable, you pick it, you wash it, maybe you peel it, and maybe it's a raw or a cooked thing, but whatever, you just fucking eat it.
Yeah.
And it is what it is, and it's fine. And there's ways to prepare it, but you're not taking away from what it is, right? Meat. You cut a chunk of it off of an animal. You put it on the fire. And then you eat it.
And it's good. It's fucking good.
Like, if it's not good just doing that, then why are you eating it? Like, if you have to do 20 things to it to make it worth eating, you watch, like, Chopped or something. I mean, I'm very into Chopped, but I spend a lot of time just yelling at the TV. But they'll give them, like, some weird, cactus pear or some weird-ass thing no one's ever heard of. And the judges are, like, whispering to each other, like, oh, if you don't, if you don't prepare it exactly the right way, it's not only inedible, but it's completely poisonous and it will kill us. It's like, why was it in the fucking basket then? Because you don't know if those people know anything about that.
So stupid.
Or, like, for example, it's like, so you're going to butcher an animal for the purpose of being eaten, but you're going to be so specific about, no, it has to be prepared in exactly the right way. Otherwise, you've just ruined it and you should be thrown in prison.
Yeah.
You know, because how dare you cook it? I told you to cook it for 23 seconds and you cooked it for 27 seconds and therefore you have ruined it.
Yes.
And it's like, an animal died so that people could ingest its flesh.
Yeah.
And you're gonna quibble over it was cooked for 5 seconds longer than you would have preferred. Just fucking shut up. Like, that's kind of the jumping off point of what I wanted to talk about.
Oh,
like,
yeah, and I totally agree. Again, you know that I agree.
Like, and even with cooking, most cooking, if it's worth doing, is very, very simple. And I mean, I there's only one thing I can think of that's complicated. Now, granted, I will never do it myself because it's complicated. But if a restaurant has mole, like a Mexican place with mole, I will always order the mole. Because one, I fucking love mole. And two, it is so goddamn hard and time consuming to make and has like 20 ingredients. It's insane. It is the weirdest thing, but it's like insanely good for no reason that makes any sense.
If you really don't know what you're doing, you ain't gonna do it good.
Yeah. You have to be an expert.
I remember when me and Ben, because Ben was a very adventurous cooker.
Oh, God, yeah.
And we tried to make mole once, and it was...
Oh, my God.
No, it was a nightmare. It was horrible.
Oh, and you just end up throwing out an entire dinner's worth of food.
Yeah.
And one of the things, though, that, like, I have to order it if it's on the menu, is I know that someone in that kitchen put a huge amount of time and effort into making it, and the thought of it having to be thrown out because not enough people ordered the mole.
Yeah.
It's horrifying to me because I also hate the thought of throwing out food. But throwing out something like that someone really put like all of their heart and soul into, that is really upsetting to me. But that's kind of the only thing that's complicated that I actually like. Most things are like there's people who... the best example I can think of is oysters. People who claim that they love oysters. My father...
I was going to say, every time I think of oysters, I think of your dad.
Oh my God, it's so disgusting. It's so gross. Although I will say that I was sort of proud. One time, I took him out for lunch for his birthday, and we went to a seafood place that had oysters. And not only did he eat like a dozen oysters himself, which like he and his sisters, like trays and trays of oysters and pitcher after pitcher of beer just coming to the table while we're just like eating our little fish sandwich, and they're just being disgusting with the disgusting. Anyway, but he actually will chew an oyster, which I have to give him props for that, because most people who claim they like oysters swallow them whole, cover them with hot sauce first, and immediately chase them with a beer. They swallow it like it's a big slimy pill. And you know what that tells me? You fucking hate oysters.
'Cause I literally just shuddered.
I know.
Because it's like gritty, pus-filled pustules of mucus. That's what an oyster is to me.
Oh my God, it's so disgusting. It's so gross. It's so gross. And like, it's just... And because it is literally the entire animal. You're just popping open a shell and you're doing nothing to it. You're just loosening it from the shell and just inhaling an animal. And if you're putting hot sauce and all this shit on it and then chasing it with a beer, you are trying to not taste the oyster. Why don't you just take a spoon of hot sauce, put it in your mouth, and drink it, and drink some beer?
Oh, wait, man,
why does an animal have to die?
The oyster.
Why does a fucking animal have to die? Or a dozen of them, so that you can drink more beer.
Is it oysters Like, I remember going to New Orleans and the people that I was with going to, like, these stands with all this ice. And is that oysters or clams that you eat out of the shell raw?
That's oysters.
Okay. Just, oh, yeah,
oysters.
no, didn't do it, wouldn't do it, no. Mm-mm.
Yeah. And clams are similar. I mean, they're similar animal-wise to oysters. Like, scallops are also similar, but they're not just a ball of snot. They actually, because of the two shells, the bivalves, they have a big muscle that open and close their shells because scallops actually swim, and scallops are so fucking good.
I like scallops.
And, like, clams, there's certain, like, I like a really good clam chowder. My mom used to make a clam sauce for, like, linguine that was fucking amazing. But it was like canned clams.
I love clam chowder and stuff, but yeah.
But yeah, I'll do like oysters like in stuffing, like at Thanksgiving, like part of the stuffing would often have oysters and stuff mixed in, and it would be a separate.
Yeah, because your dad would make that.
Yeah, and I always ate some of it because it was literally Mom would be making it just so that Dad would eat it. And I was always like, I eat a little bit of everything because I do as I'm fucking told.
Yeah, and I never liked it, but I remember all the years that I spent at Thanksgiving at your house, or at your parents' house, I should say.
Yeah.
I would always eat a little bit to people because I knew how important it was with your dad. But it was like one of those, like, eat this and then take a big swig of wine.
Oh my God. Well, and like when we had Thanksgiving at our house, that was like my husband's family and my dad, because I guess it may have been, oh God, I'm totally blanking on the first Thanksgiving after Mom died. But I remember my husband making a point of figuring out, like finding a recipe and making oyster stuffing.
Oh, good. Because I know that's an important thing to your dad.
Yeah.
So that's great.
It was always like the one thing that was made for him. Did your dad eat
it and appreciate it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
Oh, good.
But I told
sweet.
my husband, like, do not make a lot, because there's going to be leftover, and I can only eat so much.
Unless he wants to eat it.
Yeah.
But then you have to sleep in the bed with him, though, so maybe you don't want him eating a lot of oysters.
Oh, my God. He actually is one of those people that will eat an oyster. Like, that was one of those things, like, when he was bonding with my dad. But he doesn't, like, want them. Like, he doesn't go like, ooh, let's go out and get oysters. He's not like that, but he will eat them. I just don't understand it. It's one of those.
I will, like, gladly eat tripe, like a half a pound of tripe, before I would eat one oyster.
Oh, God.
And I hate tripe.
Oh, tripe is so... God, I always wondered, like, do people know what tripe is? It's cow intestines.
Oh, it's
and
so
they just
gross.
Sort of package it like it's meat, and it's just
is it intestine? Oh, I thought it was stomach lining.
Oh, like their stomach might be in there too, but it's all.
Yeah, I don't like it. No.
It's that whole. I mean, while I respect, use the entire animal.
Oh, I was just going to say, I love that. Yeah,
I respect nose to tail. I respect it. But, ew,
Oh, speaking of using the entire animal, me and Mom had a big laugh today, on our little road trip that we went to the fabulous town of Modesto.
Woo,
and there's a
glamour.
lot of little farming places that you go through there, because it's a lot of fruits and nut orchards that you drive through.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of podunk towns, and we saw this saloon, not a bar, but a saloon that had not been painted since the 50s, had not been remodeled since the 30s.
Oh my God.
And is still open and still functioning apparently. And they have this big light up sign that says deep fried gizzard.
Oh my God.
And I was like, I didn't know that they had deep fried gizzard here in the middle of the Bay Area. I thought that was only like a Texas thing.
Yeah. Like I'll do fried chicken liver, but the other crap that comes in that little bag, no thanks.
Yeah, but me and Mom laughed and laughed and laughed. She's like, do you think we should go into that saloon? And I said, yeah, it would probably be really fun, although I'd probably get my ass kicked.
Oh my God. Well, whenever I don't know when it would be, but whenever I come out for a visit, we're gonna have to go up there. I'm
Oh, we'll totally
fascinated.
go there.
Oh my god.
The year of self-care. Okay, I'm going to get serious for a minute about having a crazy brain. My brain is, well, crazy. It's not a chemical problem, in my case, or not much anyway. It's that my brain is just wrong. It's weird to realize that while I'm pretty smart, my brain can be downright dumb sometimes. One of the smartest things I've learned in recent years is this thing called radical acceptance. In a nutshell, it's accepting the reality of whatever situation you're in. It's actually easier than it seems once you learn to catch yourself refusing to get real. The truth is, a lot of us spend our lives like Don Quixote, on constant guard to do battle with giants and dragons, when we're surrounded by simple windmills that mean us no harm. Now, when I say that I accept reality, it tends to piss some people off. They want to think I'm being passive, that I'm not trying to make things better, that I'm a chicken shit. But believe me when I say that standing up to your brain and how wrong it is takes a lot of guts. Ovaries of steel. So let's talk about it. Important point number 1. This too shall pass. I actually wear a ring with that phrase stamped on it to remind me that shit is temporary. The good stuff and the bad. Remembering this helps you appreciate the good days and tolerate the bad days. Life is like weather. Give it a minute and it'll change. Next point. You can't change something that already happened. I mean, intellectually, we all know that's true. But emotionally, we tend to not believe it. So, something shitty happened. You can't change that it happened, but you can change how you look at it. Did you get into a relationship with somebody toxic? You can't undo that, but you can think about all the stuff you learned about yourself and the world because you had that experience. Number 3, thoughts and feelings are just thoughts and feelings. And a lot of the time, they aren't even true. Perception and interpretation take you away from the truth. Let me give you a sample. What did she mean by that? Is she making fun of me? Ugh, she's so awful. No respect for me. Well, I'll show her. Okay, what if I told you that what she actually said was, you look good in green, and you got yourself all pissed off because your brain decided that reality wasn't dramatic enough or whatever. If you can learn to catch yourself making shit up, you can really change your life. Next up, number 4. You can be anxious or upset and still deal with shit. You've done it before. You know you have. Focus on what's actually real and do what you gotta do. You are immensely capable, especially if you aren't spending your energy fighting imaginary monsters. Number 5. Now, learning this one was especially huge for me. When something happens that gives me an immediate emotional reaction, I may not be fully responsible for my first thought, but I am 100% responsible for my next thought. Viktor Frankl said it much fancier. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space lies our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. Ooh. So what's this about? Our initial response to things that people say and do, things that happen, is pretty much hardwired in us. It's the result of all the shit we've lived through, the hurt we've suffered, and how crazy our brains are. So that knee-jerk reaction, that sudden feeling, that's not your fault. But immediately following that moment, that feeling you just had, you are given a choice. It happens so fast you might not realize that you have control if you choose to take it. But if you can teach yourself to take a breath before responding to that stimulus, you can stop yourself from saying something hurtful to someone you wish you hadn't, or saying something hurtful to yourself and causing your emotions to spin out of control. All this stuff put together, focusing on what's real, learning to control your thoughts and feelings, and trusting that you can do what is needed to get through hard times, it adds up to a hell of a lot of stress relief. And in the long run, you'll stop wasting so much time and energy tilting at windmills.
But back to food. So we were talking about big animals like cows and pigs and whatever, and how, there's a lot of potential eaten on a cow. It's like a ton of meat on 4 legs. It's like that makes sense. But then you think about, well, even things like oysters. If you were gonna feed your village on oysters, how many thousands of oysters would you have to catch? But think about something like crawfish. There's like a thimble full of edible there. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of cleaning. It's so much fucking work. And is it really that good? I mean, it's okay.
Okay, so if I cook with crawfish, which I have on many occasions because I love crawfish gumbo.
Right.
But I buy the frozen tails.
Already cleaned. Right. Right.
And I have gone to things. I remember the leather bar in Houston.
Oh my God.
Ripcord? Is this the Ripcord? Or is that in Dallas? And it doesn't even matter. But they would
was
have
it in the Montrose?
This crawfish thing, the crawfish boil, and they would cover the pool tables with these boards and this paper and just dump these whole boiled crawfish, and everybody would be like peeling
just ripping an animal to pieces
out, and I'm like, and sucking on the tip. The tip. Oh, absolutely no. I wouldn't touch that fucking thing with a 10-foot pole. But I like the tails frozen.
So much work. So much work for a piece of food the size of the tip of your pinky.
Yeah, but they're good if you buy them at H-E-B in the frozen section. The little tails.
But think about how many crawfish that is to get like a pound of meat.
It's kind of scandalous, though.
It doesn't really make sense. It's like, a lobster, as delicious as lobster is, it's basically a water cockroach. I mean, it's like I don't...
They're so gross.
And yet, these are the things, now, especially when you get in the area of people who are snotty about oysters and people who are really into lobster or whatever, the weirder it is, the less sense it makes to eat it, the more likely that we consider it a delicacy.
Oh, I know. And what about goddamn snails?
Oh my God, who looked at a snail and said, you know what? I bet if I put a bunch of breadcrumbs on that, I bet that would be delicious. Who did that?
It's like, why don't you just blow your nose on a plate, and that's the same thing as a snail.
Oh my God, I was like, I mean, I am always willing to taste something, because if people eat it, it's like, well, maybe it's good. But the thing is, it can't be that good.
I've never tried that. Have you?
Snail, no.
And I've tried gizzard. I've done chicken's feet.
Oh.
I've done liver. I've done kidney. I've done Rocky Mountain oysters. I've done...
Oh, I've done that. I've done that.
But
I've eaten a
fucking
ball.
snails.
Have you had
No.
frog's legs?
I've had frogs, yes. I've had snake, I've had alligator, I've had possum sausage.
Oh my god. I've had emu sausage.
Yeah, but I will not eat fucking snail. And I'm sorry, it's not escargot, it's a goddamn snail.
I've eaten a cricket. I've eaten crickets.
Oh, I have too. Or wait, have I? I've eaten either cricket or grasshopper, I don't remember which.
It was a guy at work that I used to be friends with. One of those weird moments where he just had a couple bags of assorted, like, roasted various types of flavor, like little bags of roasted crickets. And he knew that I'm game, you know, and it was salt and vinegar crickets.
Oh.
And you know what? The main thing that, I mean, it's like, but then once again, you put in a fucking, you know, ranch powder or whatever on something, and then the flavor of the animal doesn't matter anymore. The main thing I was happy about was that they didn't have the legs, because when I imagined eating a cricket, before I actually saw crickets and ate them, I kept thinking the little barbs on the legs would, like, get caught on, like, the skin inside your mouth or something, and I was horrified at just the feeling of that. And luckily I guess, well, you know, like when a cricket dies and the legs pop off.
Yeah.
You know, as they do. So I guess when you harvest a large amount of crickets and roast them, I guess their legs all just vaporize.
Yeah, and I don't remember if it was cricket. It must have been crickets, or maybe it was, and it was in
people were into ants.
San Cristobal, or however you pronounce that in Tapachula. Or not Tapachula, Chiapas, in Chiapas.
Yeah.
It was one or the other, and I thought it was fine. I would never eat it again, but I wanted to try it, but I was game for that. But snails, no. Mm-mm.
It's like, well, I mean, a snail is basically a land oyster. I mean, it's just gross.
You know.
But, like, what about shit like, I mean, like, when it gets into, like, the delicacy shit, you have your snails, you have what about that, what was the kind of fish? It's like a puffer fish, isn't it? That in Japan, there's, like, you have to be specially certified.
Oh, yeah, because what if you eat it within so many minutes of killing it, you die?
I think there's a thing about, there was one kind of fish that has some sort of gland in it that is literally filled with poison. And if when you are butchering the fish, if you so much as get your knife near that gland, it is very possible that this neurotoxin or whatever just saturates all the meat and whoever eats it is going to die. Now, let me pose this question again. How fucking delicious would pufferfish have to be to risk your life to possibly go into, like, anaphylactic shock or something from having a bite of food?
And the answer is, having never had it, but it doesn't matter, because the answer is, it's not.
Yeah,
it's just some sort of elitist horseshit.
Yes. I have had some incredibly delicious food. Like, the best food I've ever had is still not worth dying for. You know? Like, I don't understand people. But it's that high-class elitist shit. The same people, you know, it's the same people who will say, well, you know, you cooked my lamb and you made it, you know, it's like, oh, well, this person cooked their lamb slightly over and now it's just ruined because it's dry, because they're claiming it's dry. But the other person who was so scared of accidentally overcooking it, cooked it for like 5 seconds less than they would have normally, and it's like, oh my god, my lamb is way too rare. It's like, eat raw meat. You will, if I gave you steak tartare, which is beef that has not been cooked at all, you would fucking eat that and be like, thank you very much.
Fucking asshole, like, you know, chefs or whatever the fuck, how do they even know this stuff? And it's so stupid.
Because
You know.
that's what French cooking is.
I know.
Once somebody decided that the French invented cooking.
Oh, and it's so funny that you say that because
that's the whole escargot bullshit.
I was just going to make a comment. And I was just going to say I would rather have a boiled hot dog dipped in Velveeta than a goddamn French meal.
It's so like, there's so much of it. And one of the things that's so funny is like when I started getting into cooking, and one day I was, cause like when my mom would make macaroni and cheese, and I don't mean boxed macaroni and cheese, I mean the way housewives used to make macaroni and cheese, where you have macaroni and then you have cheese and you put them together and you bake it in the oven. My mother would she would mix, I guess, a little milk and a little flour, like in the Pyrex measuring cup, and she would just sort of make a little slurry. And she would boil the macaroni and pour it into her little Corelle, cornflour blue, casserole dish. And then she would pour the milk and flour mixture over it. And then she would have taken a block of cheddar because you couldn't buy pre-shredded cheese. And
that's right, you could not. No.
And pre-sliced cheese was pretty much only shitty American cheese. You couldn't unless you went to a deli and had them slice it for you. So you would get your block of cheddar, and she would cut these chunks of cheddar and just sort of lay it all over the top with the idea that it would melt down. And that was fucking heaven to me. And all the burnt cheese bits around the corners.
Oh,
and
fuck yeah.
the weird, totally overcooked now macaroni that was at the bottom because it's sitting in this milk slurry and it's already been boiled. So it's just absorbing more of that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was amazing. But I started hearing people be like, well, if you're going to make a macaroni and cheese, you have to, first you have to make a bechamel sauce and you have to blah, blah, blah. So I looked up a bechamel sauce. And the thing is, a bechamel sauce is not that far off from what my mother did.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that you cook it, you do it in a saucepan. It's only slightly more complicated. But, my mom wasn't trying to be Julia Child. My mom wasn't trying to be fancy. She just had to put food on the table, and she really wasn't into cooking. And so whatever the most simple way of doing anything was what she was going to do. And when I realized that making a bechamel sauce is the easiest goddamn thing in the world, that was when I realized, it's just very, very basic techniques and none of it is special.
Yeah.
It's not fucking special. It just has a Frenchy name and it doesn't fucking matter. And that's part of why I always, when we do the bitchin' in the kitchen stuff, it's real cooking, cooking stuff that's actually worth eating, is actually really easy. You're not trying to make, a 4-course French meal.
Yeah, and I think what it is high art versus things that people enjoy.
Right, there you go. Or the kind of shit that walks down runways at a fashion show versus clothes that humans actually wear.
I was just thinking about that. It's like going to Buckle in the mall and being like, these jeans make my ass look cute. Right. Or I want to buy that shirt because if I saw some guy wearing that shirt, I would want to go home. I would
totally want to fuck him. Yes.
So but couture is just artistic bullshit that's stupid that nobody understands but the artist, and they probably don't even understand it either.
Oh yeah,
and I think a lot of cooking is like that too.
Yeah, I think, and when people do this is so delicious. There's a lot of times when it's especially on a show like Chopped where they're talking about the ingredients, the people are going, oh my god, I don't even know what this is, I've never even heard of it, and they taste it and they're like, oh my god, this tastes like shit. How am I supposed to make an appetizer out of gummy bears and rock salt and a dead squirrel?
Oh, I know, but it's almost sometimes the putridity of this is balanced by the vomit flavor of this to make it okay. You know what I mean?
It's just like, this is really good, but like, if you had just squeezed a tiny bit of lime juice over it, it really would have elevated it. And it's like, how much elitist bullshit are you talking about when something is so good that a drop of lime juice would have made it orgasmic? It's like, I'm pretty sure it was just fucking fine. As it was.
Oh my god, those people, I swear to god, you could like stick a pile of manure in a frying pan and put capers on it and they'd think it was fabulous.
If you dried shit to the point where like there's no bacteria in it anymore and it's basically just powder, you could put that shit in a shaker bottle and give it a fancy name, and people would put it on their food and they would think that they were fucking gourmet.
Oh my god, I could totally see that becoming a fad of like Los Angeles bimbos. Did you see it?
And it's totally organic. And I bet it would also count as vegan because the animal isn't involved at all. It's just the leavings.
Oh my god, we could totally market that and like just do it to LA. All those stupid LA people.
Like a pop-up shop, like a hipster pop-up
and
shop.
My god, we could become a thing, and then we could expand and do manure massage.
Oh my god. I was just thinking that we could call our special seasoning Manure.
Yes.
Manure. And it would be it would be a very umami sort of a note. It would have a very earthy umami thing, like mushrooms, but somehow more dead. It would be amazing.
We can have different flavors of it. Monterey with a hint of, I don't know, some esoteric
ranch powder.
Monterey,
ranch Monterey
with a hint of escargot excretion.
Oh no! Imagine escargot with a dusting. The escargot with a dusting of Monterey.
Yes, with goddamn capers.
I actually love capers,
I do too,
but I love anything. I love anything that's in brine.
I do too, but it's so funny that they put capers
foods
on goddamn everything, and it just makes me laugh.
Oh my god!
Do you want to make it like like couture cooking? Add a caper.
Oh my god.
Monsters, demons, ghosts, and goblins.
Oh my, I didn't see you there. You really spooked me. Just like my podcast, The Paranormal Burrito. We're a weekly podcast featuring a new guest every episode. So join us for fun and spooky stories. If you have a spooky story you'd like to share, email us at theparanormalburrito@gmail.com. The Paranormal Burrito, your true stories.
I'm not like afraid of food in general, but there is a certain point where it's just like, and there's like the people who no one really knows what's in a hot dog. Even the people who make the hot dog technically don't know what's in it because shit falls into vats all the time.
And I don't even care because they're good.
Yeah.
And who the fuck cares?
Bologna is delicious.
And what about...
If it wasn't delicious, people wouldn't eat it.
What about truffles?
I have never actually tasted a truffle. I think they taste kind of like a mushroom, sort of, because they're fungus.
Yeah.
I know they're fungus. But I bet they taste more like Monterey.
Because I am convinced that they probably taste like shit. And the only reason there's such a thing is because they're edible and they're very rare. And they're hard to come by.
Yeah.
So because they're edible and they won't kill you and they're rare, people think they're good even though they're not.
Yeah.
Because if they were good, they would be more commonly eaten, and somehow, somewhere in the plethora of the multiverse, they would be more prolific. I mean, I understand the specific environments they need to grow, but if they were that good, they'd be more prolific. Because they'd be shit out places, and then they'd grow, or whatever.
Right. Right. If they were that good, the world would have figured out a way to farm them. Because it's just a species of fungus.
Yeah.
It's like, recreate the conditions and fucking farm them and be a millionaire. But no. If it's that delicious, we should all know what they taste like, because truffle should just be a flavor that everybody knows. They can create it synthetically.
Like truffles with a dusting of Manta Ray with Velveeta.
Oh, yes. Oh, and, okay, the can-shaped jellied cranberry sauce cut into a perfect little cube with a cube of Velveeta and then a small slice of truffle with a dusting of Manta Ray and then a frilly toothpick.
Oh my god, we should totally serve that at some, like, hoity-toity opening. And people would be like, oh my god, this is so good. What is it?
Is this Manu Ray? Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm so excited about how we're gonna be rich. Because Manta Ray is so, I mean, I think there's so much of it just laying around out there that no one is taking advantage of.
I know, and I'm saying, I think Manta Ray massage could be a thing.
Oh, you know what? I bet Gwyneth Paltrow would find a way to put Manta Ray into her vagina.
Oh god.
What, like maybe as part of the steaming process that she does? The Korean vag steaming thing?
I love manure. Did I ever tell this story on the show about when one year at Kerrville, we had this mulch. It was like, it wasn't redwood. It was cedar. It was cedar mulch.
Oh, I don't know if you have, but I know the story and I really want you to tell it.
Yeah, it was cedar mulch. Yes. And it was like, we had it just on the ground of the camp.
Like in your camp area,
yeah, and
right?
we're talking like, was it 3? I'm trying to think how it was that year. If it was a square of 4, I think it was a rectangle of 3 easy ups. That's a big area, right?
Because those are like 10 by 10 or 8 by 8.
10 by 10, yeah. So anyways, we had, and as it, rained and got walked on and blah, 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 we kept having to go to the store and buy more. Well, they were out of the ones that we were buying. So we bought some other, and it was like cedar, and it wasn't walnut, obviously, but let's say it was cedar and walnut. It was cedar and something.
It's supposed to be like wood shavings or something
exactly.
That's mulched.
So we're like, oh, this is okay, as long as it, keeps the... So we got all these bags of it.
Was it for bug control? What
it was for mud control, because where our camp was very muddy.
Oh, so it kind of stays on top of the dirt.
Yeah,
so
it was for mud control and for yeah. Okay. So we did that, and after we opened all these bags and dumped it all out, we were like, "Oh my fucking god." It was half manure.
Oh, so it was like a compost /
And we
mulch.
did not realize that we had just basically redone the entire floor of our 30 by 10 foot camp in goddamn manure.
And how long did you exist on this
just
bed of manure?
And laughed it off, and everybody laughed it off, and it was fine, and it was all...
How did it smell, though?
It was faded in about 4 or 5 days.
Oh, my God. Ugh.
Yeah, but it was so funny, and I mean, we had people coming in there being like, oh, what is it? Oh, I just can't be over here. Oh. And it's like, oh, bitch, shut the fuck up. If you've never been on a farm before, it's not that bad. Shut the fuck up.
And I mean, and really, dirt is made out of shit and dead animals. So, it's dead things and shit. So...
But that was so funny. But ever since that, I've been very fond of manure. And when I was doing my little road trip today, we went through this section of country in the hills outside of Modesto. Yeah. Lots of cows.
Of course.
And of course, I could smell that smell. And I was like... And it just made me smile because it reminded me of, that Kerrville was, God, 10 years ago, however long it was.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. You love manure so much that if you ever had a child, you would name him Manure.
That would be great. The boy could be twins. The boy could be Manure, and the girl could be Manure.
Like Desiree?
Yes.
Or Manure is kind of like Manuel. It's very close to being
yes. Manuel. That would be a good name, Manuel Manure.
Manure. Okay, I'm thinking Manure would be a good last name for a drag queen. Now I'm thinking. It's like...
oh, God.
Anastasia Manure.
The Bitchin' Boutique.
Yes.
I think we need to give them a thing, Spike. We can give them a drop that they can play on their
yes,
show.
I think we've got to find some time and get time to do that.
Right now. I think we should do it right now. Look, I'll show you how easy it is, Spike. Watch this. I'm just going to do it live.
Okay, do it live.
Like that bloke screams. I'm just going to do it live. Watch this. Hi, this is Dr. Dan from the Two Skeptical... I can't do it now. Look, I can't speak. Too much pressure. I'll try again. Take 52. Hi, this is Dr. Dan from the Two Skeptical Chaps podcast, and you are listening to the most bitchin' boutique. See? That was easy, wasn't it?
Okay.
They could send us one, we could play it as.
Yeah.
Right, you do it.
Yeah.
Right,
what do you want me to say?
Whatever comes to mind.
Hi, this is Spike from the Two Skeptical Chaps podcast, who ain't no bitch, but you're listening to the Bitchin' Boutique.
Oh, that was good. I hope they use that. Let's see if they cut it and put it in their next show.
Diplomatic community.
Ooh, it just makes me want to bathe in manure.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Oh, it'd be such glam.
I have been fascinated by, like, sometimes you'll see, like, at spas as, like, they have some sort of very pure, like, volcanic clay or something, and they just sort of pack it on you like Adobe or something, and it just, sucks all the, toxins, quote, toxins from your pores or whatever. And that sounds fascinating, but, like, when it's like a vat of it that you submerge yourself in, it's like, I'm sorry, but I mean, granted, it's not like our snooches just suck things in or anything, but I can't, I would have to, like, put a cork in there or something before I submerged into filth, no matter how sanitized that filth might be, it's filth.
Yes, it is, indeed. But you know how I love filth.
I know. I wonder if you went to one of those things, I wonder if they would provide you with a cork? What would it be like, the sanitary cork or the modesty cork?
Oh my gosh, so we can market this. I'm telling you, all those stupid LA bitches would eat this up.
I just thought of something that I saw just this morning. I swear to God, I don't even know if I could adequately describe it. Okay, let's just talk about the concept. Okay, this is dumb bitch central. This is a product that makes so little sense that only the dumb bitch would want one. So let's talk about the concept of a thong, right? Now, the whole point of the thong is to have no visible panty line, right? So, visible panty line was generally considered like what goes on your butt cheek. Like if your pants were tight enough, that was where the panty line was happening. Is the lower line. So that's why the thong eliminated the line by shoving the panty up your ass. But it still had a waistband because it's an item of clothing that you put on. And like a tiny, discreet triangle of fabric that goes over your probably shaved bare pubic area. So, what I saw today, it was called the adhesive thong.
Oh.
And the big selling point was to banish panty lines forever. And I'm like, well, that's what a thong is already.
Or why don't you just not wear panties?
Hello. Because this item is acting as though the waistband of the thong is an offending panty line as well. So now what you have is a piece of fabric that has adhesive on it and a little triangle patch that you attach to your skin in your where your pubic hair would be if you had any, because clearly you cannot have pubic hair if you're wearing this. Okay. And you take it and you tuck it through your legs and you pull it up your butt crack. And then the other end is sort of has like a little heart shape because it's cute and it's adhesive too, and it sticks to you.
Special.
It sticks to you right at the top of your butt crack because you somehow want to wear underwear and yet somehow not actually wear underwear.
Why the fuck would you even wear that?
And how do you pee?
Because if there's a urine leak, if there's a period leak, if there's any sort of other, it's not gonna, why the fuck would you even wear it?
And they're not cheap. I have to point out, they're not cheap.
Oh, because it'll be all these stupid whores that are out at the nightclub where they meet their one-night stands who they think they're going to marry. They'll be really turned on by that, and I guess that's the value of it.
But it's like, is it like taking off a Band-Aid? Like, do you ask the guy, would you like to remove my adhesive thong?
Right.
And he has to pick at the corner to get it to come up, and then it's just like don't rip too fast because you might rip my lips off or something. I'm like, I don't really know.
I guess it's for all the it girls that go home with 10 guys a week, that they're going to go home, and these guys are going to be really turned on to this because they're really looking for a husband,
Because that's how you get a husband, is by being a complete cum bucket. But
my goodness,
I don't understand. There's nothing about it that I understand. I mean, this item, even in the description, because I read the entire thing. I mean, I looked at everything. I was like, prove to me that this thing needs to exist because I see no point in it. And a selling point of it is that you can reuse it. Okay. I should hope that underwear could be worn more than once.
I mean, so is it somehow like the window clings that you can put on and then you can take them off and move them to another spot? Is it like that?
I don't know. I mean, I have shapewear that has silicone bands going through it so that when you pull it up, it grabs onto your skin and doesn't roll down. But it's not actually stuck. It's not an adhesive.
Or maybe it comes with some sort of spray that you spray it or something.
Like spray glue?
Yeah.
Well, now here's something that I just thought of. Let's say, now I mean, I'm assuming there's sizes. Although in slut world, one size fits all because all women are the exact same size and shape in slut world.
Oh, I know, because what are they, 0 to 2? Is that the it's so stupid, yeah.
But what I'm imagining, though, is what if my pubic bone to butt crack distance is half an inch longer than average, maybe, and let's say that I have it stuck to me, and then when I go to sit down, it just, like if your pants are too tight and your pants rip. What if all of a sudden you get this sproing because the little heart-shaped buttock area sticker comes unglued and just bifurcates my business.
Oh, that is so funny though.
And if I'm in a mini skirt, let's say I'm wearing a skirt, now it's just dangling. It's just dangling because it's not in there anymore. I mean,
wouldn't that be fabulous?
Then,
oh my god! Oh my god!
And then, what if I'm dancing? What if it's hot? What if I'm sweating and it just falls off? This is not like your panties falling down. This is like the adhesive. Like, what if let's say, you should be able to wear it 20 times before you throw it in the trash. Well, what if this is time number 19? And, my skin is maybe a little oilier than someone else's or whatever. And I put it on and it's going to be a quitter. It's not going to last me the whole night. And I'm dancing at the club in my little mini dress, my little skin tight bodycon mini dress. And all of a sudden this triangle string heart-shaped thing just falls out of my snooch area.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh my god, it would be just like the Inside the Electric Circus tour 1987 at the San Jose Civic when Blackie Lawless's codpiece fell off on stage.
Except that could have actually hurt someone.
It just fell fucking off.
Oh God! What if a guy is heading down there and all of a sudden it just snaps back, and what if he loses an eye? I mean, do people think these things through? I mean, come on. I just Oh, and they come in two colors. They come in peachy flesh tone, gross flesh tone, like Band-Aid color, and then black. Because of course, see, I would want to get it in black because that way, I could wear white linen pants and then have a little black heart shape
thing. Oh, that'd be funny. Oh my god! And and it's just when you were telling me that, all I could picture in my head was the worst person in the world wearing one of those at a con. Because he would.
Oh, my Lord. Oh, he would have shown up to your party the time that he showed up to the party wearing nothing but a jock strap with a dildo glued to it. If he'd had access to a stick-on panty thong,
he would have worn
that.
Balls hanging out either side of the thong.
Oh, yeah, one going east and one going west.
He totally would have done that, huh?
Oh, my God. Oh, just think how it would revolutionize the stripping industry.
Oh my goodness!
Although you couldn't tuck money into it, I guess, because what if the adhesive? I don't know. I don't understand people. I think that's really.
Oh, that's so funny. Anyway,
whether it's the stupid food that they eat or their what they cover their snooch with. I don't get it.
No, but oh my god, that's so fucking funny. Oh god.
And it was just this morning. I was howling.
It delights me. I'm utterly fascinated.
So good. And I will definitely send you the picture because you need to see it.
Oh my god, yes. yes.
And of course I will share it on the social medias after this episode comes out.
Absolutely.
And not 1 minute before. Because everyone who doesn't follow us on the social media, you really should be. I mean, come on. What's wrong with you?
Thanks for listening. If you enjoy our show, please take a moment to rate us and review us on Apple Podcasts or Stitcher.
If you send us a screenshot of your review, we'll send you a Bitchin' Boutique sticker. Everyone loves stickers!
Please subscribe or add us to your favorites wherever you get your podcasts.
Subscribers get new episodes first and are also more attractive.
Drop us a line anytime at PitneyAndAmelia@gmail.com.
We'd love to hear from you.
cheaper.